Hi Virgo, welcome to your horoscope. Today we're going to talk about an aspect that is going to play out throughout 2021. It is getting initiated on 17th of February, but we would see it play out 3 times during the course of 2021, and that would make that the predominant aspect for this year. Not just that, Saturn in your house of work and health routines, which it is in right now, will persist till March of 2023. So some element of this aspect will carry on for the next 1.5 years, following 2021 as well, all the way till March of 2023. So let's dig in. Virgo, we have a stellium, a concentration of planets right now, as I'm speaking about it in February, sitting in your house of work and health routines. And of that, Saturn and Jupiter will continue to stay there for the next 1 year. This is naturally the house of Virgo. This is what Virgo as a sign is best known for as well, bringing order to situations, bringing things into their desired processes, participation in the outer world in a service scenario, being of use to the world in some ways, taking care of business, so as to speak. I mean, Virgos are known for bringing things to conclusion, approach to a problem, and you go to a Virgo. You want to know what is how to solve a problem, you go to a Virgo. So sixth house is a significator of you, and that's where the concentration is throughout this year. But even for a Virgo, when Saturn comes in this house, Saturn always makes that house a little bit heavy, a little bit stressful to some extent, if I may say, because it's a house of hard work. Virgos do not shy away from hard work, but Saturn over here actually tries to make your work more efficient as compared to more. You would get the opportunity to strategize how to best handle your work routine, and in the process of that, do the best work of your life in some ways, being very lucrative when it comes to your career, when it comes to the projects that you're delivering. Saturn is all about creating the right boundaries. So you'll create the right boundaries both for your health routine as well as your work routine, and the boundaries with your coworkers in terms of how to handle a team, how to handle teamwork, how to participate in a teamwork, how to take care of a business in some way, how to take care of people who are engaged in that business. There'll be even more than normal, you'll want there'll be need to be organized even more than Virgos are already fairly organized. Though very little known fact about Virgos that people don't understand is that Virgo as a sign, it's a dual sign. So we go from one extreme to another. I'm a Virgo dominant as well, and I know how that feels. We sometimes go from the one end to the another, and Saturn would not let you go to the other end here. Saturn wants you to stick with a specific project, stick with a lucrative project, and make it reap, make it rain this year in terms of a very valuable contribution that you're here to make. So there'll be a need to be organized. There'll be a need to detox. If there are multiple projects, if there are multiple jobs, if there are multiple directions in which you're going, if your team is a little bit disorganized in some way, there's a need to detox and bring order to all of that. So there'll be a lot of analysis, a lot of elimination, which will happen when it comes to your workplace. In fact, physical cleanup of your workspace would make you feel better. Getting an organizer, if you're a head of a business, getting a COO or somebody to help you organize the shop, even an assistant to help you organize the shop, or you working with somebody with a team which can get you, get you might need to learn to delegate a little bit here if you're part of a team, or manage the right boundaries with coworker if you're working in a corporate scenario. Interpersonal relationships when it comes to work, how you handle the people you work with, or how do you handle the people who work for you. What are the kind of boundaries? Saturn is all about where did we say yes when we should have said no. Saturn helps us learn that. It helps us create healthy boundaries of work, healthy boundaries of work not spilling into your health to some extent and affecting that, having an effective health routine as well. Because Virgo, you're a sign of health. You're a sign known for knowing about health the most in some ways. But the implementation of health can sometimes become a very different subject. And Saturn over here would make sure that we create a structure around our health routine. So, with the stellium that is happening right now and a new moon that we just had in your house of health and work routine, you might have embarked upon a new health routine, or you might be analyzing your health habits. Some innovative health interests might have developed, or natural healing methods you might be trying. Heart circulation overall in the body. So, heart circulation, ankle circulation, blood pressure, electric current through the body is a key focus of health for you. And with Saturn over here, we have to be, that is the area where you would be most benefited if you work towards, like stabilizing your nervous system, the electric current through the body, the blood pressure, the heart circulation, ankles. Those are the things in which Saturn would be very lucrative and helpful for you to get a order, get a hold on, especially if there's a condition, a pre-existing condition. This would be the time for you to take care of that and create a healthy routine, or find an innovative health natural healing method for it, or some sort of food routine that is going to help you. Mercury, your ruler, has been retrograde for the last couple of days, and it will stay retrograde till 20th of February. So you might have been reviewing your health routines right now. The balance of mineral, energy level, any pains in the body, reason for any old issues. You might be researching diet. You might be researching about what kind of things you can do to get your body more efficient. As I said, Saturn is about efficiency. How can we make ourselves, when you want to be engaged on different projects, how can we make our body and mind function at its peak? What is the routine? What is the time to get up? Sorting, sifting your schedule in some way. Figuring out how does your work and the projects, different projects work together. Is there a project plan around it? Can I get it to the efficiency that I desire? Some sort of miscommunication with team members, or your communication with the team members might be going through reworks as well at this time. So there might be some projects that might have come up for rework. You're trying to create order. You're trying to stay flexible but create order to some extent so you can deliver your best work this year. So there might be some new strategies, new solutions, even new technical solutions you might be looking for, which can shake things up in your day-to-day routine, which can help you stay streamlined. For example, like when some people buy some applications or some technical tool which helps your team have the specific rollout schedule, for example, for something with the delivery timeline, say towards the end of the year. Because the Saturn square Uranus is going to happen 3 times this year. First, it's happening on 17th of February. Second time, it's happening in June, middle of June. And the last, which is supposed to be when you produce things, when you deliver the final result, that is on 24th of December. It's like a Christmas gift delivery. But this square that is happening, it is required to happen to break through an old structure of life. So there might be some pattern of working with others. There might be some pattern of health habit that you might be breaking through, and it is essential for you to break through that to reach the next level. And with February, this first meeting of Saturn and Uranus on 17th of February, it is sort of like we are just seeding this new structure where we are breaking out of the old structure of work and health and breaking into a new one. So you're seeding something new right now. You're bringing order to your life in some ways. You're bringing order to your work environment, work schedule, some sort of a lifetime work, a vision that you have of work that you want to execute. You are sort of bringing these steps, the minute steps, and you need to do that to be successful in whatever you're doing right now. You'll have to take care of the details in some way. You'll have to take care of the individual steps that are involved in it, where in order for you to take the pressure off the end results, enjoying the each step as well as taking care of the each steps would be required to some extent. You're moving away from personal to interpersonal. during the 2 years of Saturn that are left in your sixth house. From now to 2023, March of 2023, it's like you're getting things in order. And 2021 is a breakout year in that, where you break out of an old stage and move those projects, that life's work, to the next level. It takes you away from the old in some way. So there might be some old issues, some old patterns when it comes to work, when it comes to a project, when it comes to dealing with others at work, that might come up right now. And you would realize that that pattern is a blockage in some way. So you would be working to shift that. And in some ways, Virgo, your passion needs to be your work. Your passion needs to be a vision that you have for life. It cannot just be mundane work in some ways. So the last 2.5 years already you have spent in figuring out what you're passionate about. And now the next 2 years, you're making that passion, organizing that passion into a material thing that you deliver. You're adjusting it to make it gainful. You're adjusting it to be socially responsible in delivering it. You're adding technology, tech savviness to that solution. You're taking care of the minute details which make it perfect. What you're doing on a daily basis into your project, into your work environment, into a routine, that is a key to success here. That is a key to making it unique in some ways. Technology is key in making it unique. What you need to be on lookout for when you have so much energy, so many planets in your work, in your job, in your area of getting the details right, in your house of health, is that we can really overextend ourselves. We can make ourselves go overboard in all direction here. First is, of course, Saturn likes to streamline things. So one is, of course, getting efficiency around it, boundaries around the workload. You need to have some sort of a timeline around where do you stop working. All work and no play is not going to help your health in general. Plus the accountability and the managing style, that is one of the things that is being highlighted to you to change as a part of this transit. You're learning how to delegate. You're learning how to draw the boundaries. You're learning how and where to draw the boundaries to your obligations in some way. This is not just true for work. This is definitely true for work in terms of your productivity with your coworkers. Where do you draw the line? But it's also true for your karmic responsibilities and obligations, the way you play that out in your personal life as well. You're trying to create a stable work plan and a stable life plan here. So as you create the right boundaries for yourself, that itself will take some pressure off. But the balance of this big, work focus is the other end. So that's why we go to the opposite sides. As I mentioned it in the February introduction video of this aspect, is that we will have to try mind-body balance on the other side of the spectrum. And the other side is your 12th house. 12th house is where you'll find some respite. So you'll have to take some time alone. You'll have to take this phases of being away from people in some ways, being away from the crowd, private time, some sort of meditation, some sort of acupuncture, spiritual practice, practice, away from being in front of the people, some charity time where you do something not for a person but for the larger good, some sort of a social causes that you're attached to, creative isolation in order for you to plan what you want to do, what do you want to create. Because what happens is that when we get lost, there's so many small things which are coming up. When Saturn is in house of details, too many details prop up, and it is the house of problems as well. So a lot of day-to-day problems unfortunately come up, but it's the road to perfection, right? And Virgos know this very well because they're always on the road to perfection. So you know this, and just think that you'll be more Virgo than normal in 2021, where you'll be trying to solve a lot of problems. You'll trying to streamline for once what you want to deliver. But the other side of it is, what's the big picture? Why am I doing this? What is it leading my soul to? What is my place in the universe? What does it provide to mankind? How is my contribution unique in some ways? Where is my creativity in this? How is this bringing joy to me? Those are the questions on the other spectrum that can get lost because of obsession about this getting the thing done, delivering it somehow. So you'll have to find that balance by giving your period away. Most successful people do this. This is not just unique to you. You have seen this, you would have read about this with most successful people. And you're definitely with this kind of work ethic, there is no way that what you're doing will not be successful. But will you be happy at the end of it? Will you be fulfilled at the end of it? Would you have exhausted your soul in the process to it? So, taking some time for your soul, for your health, for your mind, in your day to day routine would be very, very important for you. Because this all can get very nervy. You would be shouldering too much of load. And you'll feel that in your health, in your work health connection. Because when we have concentration of planet in this house, in the sixth house, the work health connection becomes very strong. If there's stress at work, it clearly and more in a more exaggerated way shows up in our body, in form of allergies, in form of digestion issues, in form of migraines, in form of circulatory issues. So in order to take the edge off the nerve, you'll have to de-stress that nerve on a daily basis. You would feel that you need to be in charge too much of the time. This is the house of self-sufficiency. You'll try to do everything yourself. That's where you have to, that silent time, that lone time, you can take stock of, am I taking too much on my head? In name of self-sufficiency. Sometimes the delegation will get more done versus trying to get it exactly right. And that quiet time, that period for your soul will help you keep an eye on the purpose of why you're doing this. What is the sole reason to do it? You need to do a work that has a purpose. As a Virgo, you, in order to be fulfilled, in order to be happy, this is more important for Virgos than anybody else, that your work has had to have a larger purpose. It has to have a vision. There has to be a bigger vision, a bigger world, something innovative that you've thought of that nobody has thought of. So you need to find some seclusion to get your thoughts together away from this nagging small issues, a lot of day-to-day activity that is going to be happening. Balanced by delegation, balanced by isolation, balanced by having faith that some issues will resolve on their own if you let them be. And they would. You would see this pan out in front of you very quickly as you start shifting your approach to delegation, as you start shifting your approach to managing others. Needing to be perfectionist here would be very high. But in some ways, when Saturn is in sixth house and we try to hold too tightly to all the tasks in our hand, we sometimes get forced to take a break. I'm just telling you how, from a health perspective, this can be a little bit dangerous. So I'm not telling you because of scaring you in any ways, but this is something that when Saturn comes in our house of health, we have to obey the rules of our body. We have to listen to our body. We have to listen to the aches and pains. We have to listen to when our heart is racing too fast. We have to listen to when our pulse is too high. We have to listen to if the blood through the veins seems rushing too high, or if we feel heady suddenly. You have to pay attention to your health. This is the house of health. Saturn is duty, your karma, your debt that you have to pay, things that you have to pay as a due to your body. So you have to Delegate some menial tasks, something that you do not enjoy doing, something that is not integral part of your expansion, your growth, doesn't use your intellectual energy, and take charge of overall. Get away from work on periodic basis. Put a clock in some ways. And if you are in a job, in a work that is not fulfilling, and your body and your health issues are clearly telling you, this would be the time to make that shift. Listen to coworker and employee suggestions. Definitely spend time with them, but don't carry them with you home. They are not coming to your house. There's a boundary to the thought process, to the criticism, to the inputs, to the suggestions. Friendly in a detached way. Equal footing, not treating anybody down, but equal footing, where you and your health and your boundaries and your family and your well being is given equal air as well. The other thing that is happening apart from this, Saturn is here till 2023. You have Uranus, the planet of change and shift, which I love that it's in your house of adventure, and it has been there since 2018. So since 2018, you must have all felt to some extent that your philosophy about life is changing. What you want out of life is changing. There's a freedom from old, stable, even to some extent wanting to stick with one thing kind of a belief, which might have been shaken up in 2018 when when Uranus first came here. And Uranus is here till 2026. But right from 2018, maybe you have started a process of changing, a radical philosophy, a radical faith in your life, a radical faith that you want to be more might have come true. Most of us want to be more, but this radical confidence in life that I am going to make sure that I am going to become more might have come with that. And when that happens, a very progressive philosophy takes over our mind, and we become the kind of person who should be sharing their ideology with the rest of the world. And you might be creating something to interact with people who are different from you and sharing your philosophy with them, sharing your knowledge with them, sharing your information with them. I mean, one of the key changes, many of your friends might have observed this as well, is that the philosophy of life, you love to discuss that when that happens. When that happens, you want to discuss religion. You want to discuss about outlook on political matters. And with that comes some ideas that were not there before, some ideas that did not exist before. Gandhi had Uranus in his ninth house. Not just he was educated through foreign education, he led to freedom with his unique philosophy. Is there a unique idea you have which is going to free people? Do you have some independent thought process, some truth to tell others? Truth which will help people heal in some ways. Some progressive thought process, some progressive educational idea, some progressive, lucrative financial idea. Because Uranus is in Taurus, it's about financial freedom. You would have seen this in the world events, the way things are panning out. It's all about financial freedom. Moving away from the structures of the past where money used to be only a substance for the few. Everybody having a chance to make their money. And money to make its own kind of money. Different kind of money is coming in. So what's your contribution? You are one of the signs who are gifted with having this innovation and a positive aspect with you. So your higher mind is positively stimulated with ideas which are out of social norm, which are radical, but you are also being given the discipline to create the steps around it to create something lucrative and substantial and real out of it, versus it just remaining an idea. So when these two planets interact 3 times, it's like ideology is being given shape. Tremendous tension is created, but it becomes the source of endless supply of creativity and spontaneous energy, which pushes you to create structure around that innovation. You will be forced to harness your inner tension into a passion, to develop a purpose that permits you to participate in a larger expression of life, this larger revolution that's happening around us. In some ways, you would contribute in a substantial way using your philosophy, using your ideology, using your knowledge, using your information, using your experience with foreign people and your ability to imbibe different kind of ideas and ideologies and creating something logical, something unusual, something lucrative out of that. You will know the trends. You will know the pulse of society. You'll see it before it happens. And don't try to convince people about it. It's very difficult for people to see it before it has happened. You're seeing it before it's happening. This is faith versus substance. And the faith always comes before the substance. And Uranus gives us brilliance about what's about to come. Gandhi, in his philosophy, was not accepted as something that would work easily. But he had the faith to carry that through. So there will be a conflict. You yourself sometimes would pick holes into your own philosophy. Sometimes there will be an external person who would pick hole in your philosophy. You will find clashes of ideology because of that. You would believe it's going to happen, but somebody who is just a critic or somebody who cannot take the leap of faith like you do would show you that this is a dream, it's not reality. But the difference of opinion that you will face on a daily basis related to faith matters, and they just not cannot be a faith in a vision that you have. It could be religious faith, it could be actual subjects of mundane discussions. You'll find that ideological clashes might exist on those because you are expanding in your outlook. You're truth seeking right now. You're looking beyond the mundane over here. You're looking at a completely different vibe that does not exist right now. So don't expect everybody to already be there. Look at the conflict as a feedback that people may not be ready, but then that's why it's maybe worth pursuing because it hasn't been done. Take the pressure off the others to approve your idea. Try to create the structure around your ahead of the time ideas. That's what Saturn in 6th is going to help you do that. You are the best sign to be able to do that because that's what you do the best. You create the right. You're a earth sign. You're a sign of organization. You're the sign of creating order. You're the sign of meticulous work. You're a sign of doing it the right way with the right objective in mind. Doing it with the right intent, a larger intent in mind, with a purpose in mind. So the dissonance, the stress, the inattention of doing something different that you're feeling, use these aspects that are happening to create an order, a substantial step-by-step process to get there. Step-by-step process to achieve what you're looking for. And put it materially down, put it on a paper. Put it down on something where, the leap of faith is sort of broken down into details in some ways. You don't have to lose faith in the vision, you just have to make it implementable. The philosophy that you have will affect how you serve. If you have a positive faith and philosophy about where you're going, it will benefit your work attitude. It will benefit how you're seen. It will benefit your health. It will bring more verve into your work. Publish things of higher knowledge. Publish things of utility. Publish things, create things which are different. Drive This is, you'll feel that you're driving a Ferrari with the brakes on. You have a brilliant idea. You just want to get there yesterday, but you're being asked to jump through hoops to get there. And it's telling you that you need to jump through hoops to get there so you can enjoy when you get there. And to some extent, it's asking you to have faith on each of these breaks. Have faith and enjoy the day to day process of getting there. Enjoy those day to day routines, the smaller, finer things that you're creating. Celebrate those individual steps, those individual wins as you get there. Getting there is inevitable. How you get there could be full of pressure or full of faith, belief in what you're doing, belief in who you are. Divine blessings are there with you. But Uranus in the ninth house makes you want to get your faith from foreign sources. So maybe the people who add value to you, maybe the people who give you that philosophy or a mentor that you have, maybe they're not from your culture, they're not from the place you are in. Maybe it's not even your religion that gives you the faith. Maybe being in a foreign country gives you more faith. Maybe working with people who are different from you, having a different mindset from you, maybe that gives you the faith. Travel shifts you. Practical education shifts you. Steep learning curve in a new thing that you're learning about and bringing to the table shifts you. So that's, I think, what I have for you, Virgo. We do know that with Saturn over here, we would have more and more things pop up. It's a growth house. This is a growth house, a Pachaya house. We grow in it. It gets better with time. It gets better like wine. The more you work at it, the more lucrative it becomes. Don't overpromise on things when Saturn is here. We try to, and this is, as I said, it's natural to you. It's natural to you to not go over, show off on things. But yes, you do have the tendency to overdo things, take on too much. Don't overpromise on project deadlines. Underpromise and overdeliver. And take care of the boundaries of your health in the process of it. It's the time to take care of your responsibility to your own living health life. And to take care of the work, yes, to bring order to work, exploring opportunities, finding the work that actually gives you your soul a purpose. You will be on the spotlight on work environment. Work will be left, right, and center. You Virgo, you take pride in the work you do, but you also take pride in your health routines. Remember, you are all of those things. Sifting, filtering, detoxing, cleaning the house, decluttering the place you work, resolving the ego issues in the work life, bringing order to life, attention to details, focusing on little things, getting rid of what works, what doesn't work. But at the same time, taking care of the mind-body connection that comes with it. Trying new diets, health regimes, realistic health regimes that work. Moderation on work. Change in daily habits so you can bring the balance back in life. Maybe sometimes when this happens, a pet really helps. Getting, a pet in the house sometimes helps. Or getting the right delegation model helps. Somebody who brings assistance to you in some ways, psychologically or physically. Improving the work environment, getting the right coworkers, getting the right team, getting the work environment, well thought of changes that are done, in that you've been thinking about in your projects, they finally initiated without any procrastination to somehow get it exactly right, getting things completed, taking care of business in the sense of just getting it done and finishing it. Sometimes in perfection, we procrastinate. People think we are procrastinating because we are lazy. It's not the case. We're just being perfectionists in the process, and sometimes that happens. Too much critical thinking about self. We have to catch ourselves before it becomes a problem for us. We have Jupiter here. We will prosper professionally. We will rise in hierarchy. The jobs and the work and the projects that you're doing right now with Saturn over here, they are long lasting, long lucrative. The ambition at work is definitely up. But you have to find a job that brings you prosperity, that takes care, makes use of your leadership, makes use of your brilliance, gives you the right limelight, feels limelight in the sense it puts you at the place in the skill sets that you're best at. It makes use of your specialization in some way. Streamlining your daily life in positive ways, Jupiter is excellent for that. It creates, after you've gone through this, it creates an easier rhythm of life. It gives you a positive mind body connection where you just not feel good in what you're doing, you feel good in your body while doing it. You feel that flow between your work and your body where both are responding well, where your habits and even the problems at work, they're somehow moving together. Daily life is easier on you, is easier on your body. It feels good being in the rhythm of things. And this year is going to bring that rhythm that makes you feel back in your skin, makes you back in control, makes you feel that life is in order and life is good. Good luck for that, Virgo, and I'll see you in the next video now.